Hello everybody and welcome to Car Confections. You saw the video title, you know what we're up to today. Today we're going to talk about our top mid-size sedans. Of course this is a very popular segment. It's not as popular as it used to be because of the compact SUV segment.
Right.
But there still are a lot of families that are looking for a mid-size sedan. So what we're going to do today is give you a top countdown of our favorite mid-size sedans, and hopefully will help you make an informed decision if you're looking to buy a mid-size sedan, because we have the unique insight of reviewing hundreds of vehicles each year. So
That's right. We've been in all these models that we're going to talk about today. The segment has consolidated a good deal, but we have been in all of the current offerings that you might be considering. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in and count it down.
Alright guys, so we're going to start from the bottom and work our way to our favorite midsize sedans. Now, this is in no way saying that these vehicles are necessarily bad. They're just not our favorite, or most of them are actually kind of getting older than the newer options in the segment.
Sure.
So, number 7, there's not a ton of options anymore, so 7 is about all the midsize sedans that you can get. It's going to be the Chevy Malibu. So, with the Chevy Malibu, it's actually a really solid product. It's just been out for a long time, and you can get one of these for pretty cheap, I would imagine. The one that we did, the RS trim level, I think it was in the low 20s, like 23,000. So that's probably a really good reason to get a Malibu, is because it's going to be a lot cheaper than the other options that we're going to be talking about today.
And it's quite stylish as well.
Yeah.
So like I was already mentioning, the Malibu is a pretty stylish offering in this segment. And that's especially the case with the RS trim level I've got with me today, because that combines the most style in the entire lineup with a very affordable price tag. So let's see what you get. Bending down here at your grille, you'll notice this is finished in a gloss black instead of the bars of the other trim levels. You also have a black badge to set things off, and then the chrome around it remains the same. The next thing on our list is the Subaru Legacy. This is a vehicle that's been around for a while in terms of being on sale a lot of generations. It's been a pretty popular product for Subaru, and in this latest generation, the cabin really has taken a huge advancement up.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing to think about. You've got that huge screen down in the middle, kind of Tesla style, which really...
And it works really well, too.
It's a really nice display, and you do have the XT model if you want a powerful option as well. Alright, so we've avoided it long enough, so we might as well hit the real elephant in the car, which is this gigantic new display. This is 11.6 inches, and it is actually standard on all but the very base trim level.
And then continuing our list past that Legacy, we do have the Nissan Altima. We actually just reviewed this a few days ago. I don't even know if the video will be live on the channel by the time you see this. But we did just do the Altima. The Altima is a great choice. It continues to be a popular midsize sedan. And the reason for that is it has a lot of style. You are going to get a lot of value for the price, and it is also going to be cheaper than a lot of the options that we're talking about in this list. Fully loaded, I think it's coming in at $35,000 for a Platinum, and a lot of these in the list are going to be up to $40,000. So certainly a good option if you're looking for that. The ride quality is really, really good. I'd say it's very on point with the Camry as well as the Honda Accord, and one thing that I do think is even better than the Camry and the Accord are these seats. These seats are really, really comfortable. Even if the Altima itself doesn't soak up the bump, I think the seat is pretty much going to soak it up.
Alright, so now we've made it to the top 4, and before we get into this, I just want to go ahead and say, with these top 4, we really went back and forth, we kind of debated it. It was really tough.
It's a close call between
these top 4 are pretty much neck and neck. You really couldn't be faulted for putting them in a different order, choosing them. They all have their strengths and their weaknesses, so we just wanted to kind of preface with that, because it was really tough to put them in order. They're all very excellent. Now, with that being said, the number 4 spot is going to go to the Toyota Camry. You all know this car. This is the quintessential midsize sedan. It's basically what made midsize sedans such a mainstream type of segment, after it took over back in the day from the Ford Taurus. And, there's just so many great things about the Camry. The design of it has aged super well. It still looks fantastic, in my opinion. You've got some enhancements to the technology and things. You still got that nice panel roof. V6 option.
Yeah, a hybrid, too.
Yeah, hybrid and V6 option, and this is the only one on the list that's got a V6 option still, so very cool in that regard.
Yeah. For number 3, this is going to be a very popular car as well, something that you may have owned in your past, or sure you probably know someone who's owned one of these. It's the Honda Accord. Now, what landed the Honda Accord number 3 as opposed to the Camry at number 4, I think would have to be the base engine, which most people get. In the Honda Accord, it's a lot quieter, a lot more refined than the 2.5 liter in the Camry, so I think that's a big distinct benefit for the Honda Accord. Yeah. And that's not all the benefits, that's for sure. Landing number 3.
It's a fantastic driving vehicle. I really love the way that, especially when you get the 2.0T, that one is excellent, and I'm really glad that they have that offering on the sportier side of things. Great handling, great reliability. There's a lot to love about the
And it's super spacious, not to mention, I think it's the most spacious offering on the list, period. It has a lot of cargo capacity, insane legroom figures. Honda really just nails the practicality side of things, and that's certainly something that midsize sedan buyers appreciate.
But I want to go ahead and discuss one of the things that remains a strong area for the Accord, and that's just having athletic ability and fun to drive nature built into it. Midsize sedans as a whole segment is not exactly a type of vehicle that's known for being enjoyable to drive, but there are some standouts, and this Accord is one of them. It's just one of those vehicles. It just, like I said, it's just kind of baked into its DNA, so even though you don't have like a hardcore sport experience, you can still,
it's so tight.
Turn around a corner, you don't have very much body roll. Everything's so tight, nice feeling. And the steering, they always tune the steering to have this pleasant feel to it that's really nice, really controlled, while still not being like overly heavy for everyday duty. I mean, they really do this one of the best out there for sure.
Yeah.
And moving into our number 2 spot. So 1 and 2 are going to be 2 cars that we recently considered buying.
Yeah, maybe a little biased. I don't know.
But I mean, that is an endorsement because we do this for a living and we're in all of these different vehicles. So, anyways, number 2, Kia K5.
Yeah.
So, what do we like about this? We like a lot of things about it. For one, the styling just stands out. This probably the best looking thing on the entire list, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks so good on the outside, looks so premium. It's so different from the other things in the class.
Has that sportback look from the Stinger. You can get it in really awesome color palette, like the wolf gray paint. You can get the red interior. And you can even get that on the more basic models. Like a $30,000 K5 can have a red interior, wolf gray paint on the outside. It's really a phenomenal package. Also, in typical Kia fashion, a lot of value. You're going to have a lot of equipment for the money, and also a really great warranty too.
Yep. And finally, you can go all out and you can get the high performance GT model. So when you first walk up to this K5 GT, it really makes a strong first impression. This is a really dang good looking midsize sedan, that's for sure. And of course, you're going to find all those typical K5 elements, but just kind of amped up a little bit for GT duty. midsize sedan, I do want to take just a second to shout out the deceased and discontinued midsize sedans. Like we said, as people shift to crossovers, we've started to see some of our dear midsize sedans.
That one right there.
Yeah,
the
there's
Fusion.
one, a Ford Fusion.
Yeah, a Fusion made the list.
So in the last year or so, we've seen the Fusion die off. The Passat has ended production. You might still be able to get one at a dealership right now, but it has officially ended production. And then my personal favorite, the Mazda 6.
Oh yeah.
That one will be missed.
She's beautiful.
I always loved the Mazda 6. It might come back to life as a rear drive sports sedan in the future, so fingers crossed, but for now, she's dead.
Yeah. But, drum roll please, it is time for number 1 on our list. If you guys are pretty clever, you might have already deduced down what this is going to be, and if you follow our channel, you might also have an idea of what this is going to be. But it's going to be the car that we own. Personally, we bought it in June of this year. It is the Hyundai Sonata. Now, reasons why this Hyundai Sonata made the list, it is not just because I personally own one, I can tell you that, and the reason why we do own one is because this is a great value. It's a great midsize sedan all around. So it has a lot of the same elements as the Kia K5 because of course they are based and related to one another. So these top 2 options really basically just like different skins and different interpretations of the same body. But the Sonata, it has a really awesome interior. It has a lot of really great features for the money. You can get a lower end model that has a lot of value thrown in. You can get a higher end model like what we have, the inline, which has a lot of performance, a lot of luxury thrown in. You can get a limited model which has all the luxury, head-up display, you have all that fancy stuff, and it still comes in a lot cheaper than the competition in many metrics.
Right, and like we said, us having the inline, this is a legit performer. I mean, it can actually go 0 to 60 under 6 seconds. The handling is phenomenal. I mean, it's not just like your everyday Sonata. They really did stuff to enhance the performance of this. That was really what sold us, and the fact that the cabin, like we said, we did consider the K5, but a big difference for us was that the cabin just was a higher quality, and the Sonata had more of the things we were looking for. And right as soon as you start it up, you will be greeted with what is one of my favorite elements of the Sonata's interior, and that is its 12.3-inch full reconfigurable gauge cluster. As you can see, really nice crispy design here. Nice graphics. This is included on the SEL Plus and above. And of course it does change designs if you change drive mode, stuff like that. And the inline does come with a little bit different design as well. Now, on the limited trim level, if you signal to the right or the left, that's going to activate your blind view camera system, which gives you that live feed of your blind spot. And in addition to that, only the limited trim is going to throw in this head-up display, which you can barely see here because of the angle of the camera. So taking a look at our Q fob here, of course you do have the typical Hyundai fob, and you will have the smart entry system standard on the SEL and above. The SEL Plus will add the digital key system, which allows you to unlock the car with a key card or with your Android phone. And then finally, here with the limited trim level, that's what's going to throw in the smart parking system, which you can control via those 2 buttons right there. Floor belt. This thing's good.
And this is a Sonata one.
Launch control. I bet you didn't think you'd ever say launch control and Hyundai Sonata in the same sentence. Well guys, we hope you enjoyed our countdown of our top mid-size sedan picks. Like we said, it's really been a cool privilege that we get with our job here to be able to sample out all of these vehicles and test them out extensively and be able to give you guys this list of what we think after spending time firsthand with all of these models, what are your best picks when you're time to put down your hard-earned cash and buy a family sedan for yourself and your entire family.
And before you go down in the comments section and yell at me and say that we didn't pick the right one, it is obviously, this is our personal taste for midsize sedans. We do have a lot of information backing that up, but a lot of different factors are at play. If you really prefer the design of one of these cars, that could outweigh a few of the benefits of going for a Hyundai or Kia or something along those lines. If you prefer reliability, maybe you'll pick the Toyota or Honda. So of course there is a lot of room here for different opinions going on. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like, hit the subscribe button down below. We have a lot of different content. We have more content like this. We also have a lot of car reviews as well as comparisons on our channel, so be sure to subscribe for that. Also follow us on TikTok and Instagram, where we have shorter form content, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.